Do you think we've seen a lot of delays in people not wanting to testify, and even some people who originally were willing to testify?
Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Young Thug, YSL, and their RICO indictment. Now, recently, the DA's office had a news conference where they talked about a new RICO indictment against a not so well-known group that was targeting celebrities and rich houses and things like that. Now, they're called the Drug Rich Gang. Now, during this news conference, a lot of things were said and a lot of questions were asked of the DA's office and all these RICOs. And, you know, the DA's office and the district attorney, Fani Willis, her objective is to get rid of gangs. And she's been vocal about that on several occasions in several different interviews. And I believe that's how she feels she's going to clean up the streets of Atlanta, because Atlanta crime has been outrageous lately, right? Well, in the news conference where she introduced this new RICO indictment, she talked about some things involving the YSL RICO indictments and YFN as well, right? Now, a news reporter asked her some questions towards the end, and her answer, you know, has a lot of people scratching their heads because she avoided the question, and the question was sound, and it asked about witnesses dropping out of the YSL RICO case. Now, what we're gonna do is look at that news clip and other news clips associated with this, break them down, and really see if we can get an answer of why she might have avoided this question. But before we do so, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about this YSL RICO case and, you know, the DA's office and how they've been handling this thing so far. Now, there's been a lot of rumors. Let's be real. There's been rumors of several people from the YSL's camp turning on them, snitching, telling, whatever you want to call it, right? And we've heard those and talked about those on numerous occasions. Well, it seems like there's a new rumor that's spreading that some of the witnesses against YSL are just dropping out. They're like, yo, man, nah, I ain't trying to get with this anymore. Or they're unwilling to testify now. Now, the reasons for that could be anything. But what's weird about it is the question was asked to the DA's office and they ignored it. Like the district attorney, Fani Willis, you know, the person who's going after most of these gangs in Atlanta, she ignored the question and left the stage. I'm not kidding. Now, this had fans online contemplating what really went on here, man. Like, why did she avoid this question and just leave? You know, it just seemed odd. But, man, let's check out the clip ourselves.
It occurs in Fulton County.
Do you think we've seen a lot of delays in people not wanting to testify, and even some people who originally were willing to testify now filing to delay? Do you think this is part of a general tactic to push it as far past the election as possible by certain people?
You're an excellent reporter, but with that, I'm going to end this press conference. Thank y'all for coming.
Now, as you saw right there, she avoided that question, and then she kind of just walked off, and a lot of people were like, oh, man, what's going on? Like, why you ain't answer the question? But it kind of cuts off right there, right? Well, the question was, in case you missed it, he asked, why are there so many delays in the case because of people, you know, who withdrawing, you know, wanting to be witnesses in the case? Like, it seems like a lot of people who initially were ready to testify as witnesses have withdrawn that, and it's causing delays. And in some way, is this because of the election that's coming up? So, you know, November 8th, you got elections coming up. I'm not sure if the district attorney's office is on the ticket or whatnot, but, you know, anything could happen in that situation. I don't know the basis of that question because, you know, I don't do politics, but it seems like he's saying that if somebody else is put in that seat, they might not pick up these cases or be so headstrong about trying to go after all these different groups in Atlanta that are affiliated with rappers or whatnot. You know, that's what I took from it. Now, that might not be correct because I don't follow politics like that. You know what I'm saying? But it was an interesting question. But what's got everybody raising their eyebrows is the fact that she avoided it so quickly, man, and then just left after that, like dipped out, literally. News conference over, man. Because any answer that she would have gave up something, obviously. So, man, let's look at the clip one more time.
It occurs in Fulton County.
Do you think we've seen a lot of delays in people not wanting to testify, and even some people who originally were willing to testify now filing to delay. Do you think this is part of a general tactic to push it as far past the election as possible by certain people?
You're an excellent reporter, but with that, I'm going to end this press conference. Thank y'all for coming.
Yeah, as you can see there, man, she ducked and weaved that question, man, which is wild because, you know, you would think that she would give an answer if it wasn't that important. So obviously there's something important on the back end about that. We'll see, man. It does seem like the DA's office, or the person who's the DA, they have political aspirations. I see her name in a lot of other stories, you know, involving politics and that stuff. And I don't even do politics. I just be looking up Atlanta DA sometime to see if there's any latest developments in these RICO cases, right? But obviously, man, there's something behind that question. And this got everybody asking, are people dropping out as witnesses? Are they saying, yo, man, it ain't worth it? You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be a witness in this anymore. But does that affect the case? Because, I mean, there's rumors out there that there's members of YSL. There's videos about a guy named YSL Woody, or Lil Woody, who's a rapper who was affiliated with Young Thug and them, that he basically, you know, turned on them and that he's telling on them or whatnot. But I haven't seen anything official saying that yet. I mean, just a bunch of paperwork online and things of that nature. But also, man, another YSL member, you know, they said that he was out here telling, a guy by the name of SB. Now, I don't know if those two people are the ones that they're talking about as well, or if they're talking about other witnesses that they had in this situation, but it's interesting to say the least. Now, this DA, man, if you guys don't remember, is the person who's going after gangs in Atlanta because she believes they contribute to the high crime rates or the rising crime rates. Let's actually look at a couple of clips of her talking about that.
My number one focus is targeting gangs, and there's a reason for that. They are committing conservatively 75 to 80% of all of the violent crime that we are seeing within our community. And so they have to be rooted out of our community.
DA Fonnie Willis told us.
We expect that in coming days, weeks, and months that we will bring RICO indictments against gang members, even top-level gang members, to make sure that we rid them from our society.
Okay, so from those two clips, from those two different news conferences that she's had previously, you can see where her motivations are to get these RICO indictments done, you know what I mean? Now, the fact that witnesses that could help the case are now potentially dropping out is interesting, man, because I wonder if that helps Young Thug and them in the long run. I mean, you don't know which witnesses they are, who their names are. Obviously, that reporter had some inside information, and hopefully we'll get some of that soon and shortly, you know what I mean? But what do y'all think? Is this a good thing or a bad thing for Young Thug and, you know, YFN Lucci and his camp and all that? Or do you think that, yo, this might not have anything to do with either of these cases, really, and it might be just something, you know, that has to do with this new indictment because it wasn't that specific, you know? They were asking a lot about the YSL RICO case and the YFN RICO case, but maybe this doesn't help them in the long run, you know what I mean? Y'all tell me in the comments, man, but before you do that, man, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content, and we out of here. Peace.